Video's unavailable. Are we going live? Anybody know if I'm going live? Check 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. We finally figured this out. Welcome to Fathers for All going live. Alrighty. Finally figured this out. Welcome. Hey there, Dan with Fathers for All. I'm still just checking to make sure this is working and going live and you guys are hearing stuff. Let me know. Hey there, Dan with Fathers for All. I'm still just checking. All right, looks like we are coming through. That's great to hear. And man, what a stressful process I have had getting this set up. I am using Streamlabs OBS, and I think every time I go live, I've been having it set up to the wrong streaming service, like it's set up for Twitch or something, and its drop-down tab, I was missing that. I was putting in my key. In the past couple weeks, past couple streams, I've been starting grossly late. So it's all, with anything, the devil is in the details, so to speak. So without further ado, we are online. We are good to go, and we're getting things started here. I wanted to share with you guys. Just share with the family and share with those who are able to stream in or check in and see what's going on. Just my progress of a beginner, the progress of doing a YouTube channel, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Wanted to give a little bit of a background on my site and what's, the progress of setting up a YouTube channel and all that fun stuff. So we finally made it online, and we're gonna really just tackle this and get into it. And I know there's a lot of to start a YouTube channel, there's a lot to learn. You're essentially you can just throw your camera up and start recording, and that works, and a lot of people do that. And for those who are starting that don't have a lot of equipment and gear, that is the best way to start. However, just pressing record on the camera, sometimes that works, but there usually has to be a little bit more of a little bit more thought and planning behind it. And as you grow and get bigger, it gets more and more complex. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll hit this intro video and we'll jump right into it. Alrighty. So this is my progress of a beginner and just kind of where I started off. And so wanted to real quickly just hit on the my kind of where I'm at and what I've done and all that fun stuff. So I've just wanted to give you a quick background in video production. I've been doing video production for quite some time. In fact, I started doing video production when I was in high school, actually doing THS TV at Talmadge High School, and we would cut together little snippets, parodies, sketches, almost like a little Saturday Night Live type show, and it would air every Friday. And creating content back then was just as hard as it is now today. We had to come up with new ideas and new things to present. And eventually it turned into a news broadcast where we did news almost, I think it was every day. And it really kind of took away from the creative process because there was so much involved in doing news. And but it was a lot of fun and a great learning experience. I then started working with Mosier Video, which is now Mosier Media, and I was shooting weddings for Mosier Video, and that's where I learned how to do wedding videography, and I learned how to market the services, sell the client, uh, work with the client all the way up to the date of the event, then shoot the video. Then I learned how to edit it. Then we learned how to, in back then it was cutting it down to a VHS tape, and then from there deliver. And I learned a lot from Dan Mosier, and I really appreciate him and all that he taught me and all that he allowed me to do over the years. And shortly after doing that for a couple of years, Mosier Video decided to move out of the wedding event video business, and I wanted to keep going with it. So I started my company, RDC Technologies, and I launched a wedding and event videography service. And back then, I should have done maybe a different name for that. I had this grand vision of doing something big with that company. So anyhow, it wasn't quite targeted, but it it worked, and we produced some really cool videos, and actually some really great. Let me show you here. This is. Let me go to the webcam. This is actually one of my last videos I did on my own for Ariana and Anthony, and we did a Blu-ray and a DVD, and I would take a couple of photos with the camera, and I would just edit them into like I think it was Microsoft Publisher is what I would edit these on. I'd have a template that was designed, and then I'd print this on photo paper, and that would be the cover of the DVD. It'd have some photos of their. So I did a little graphic design, not much. It wasn't very good, and then I would do the same with I don't know if you can see that, a wedding, the DVD cover. And that was like, I found these glossy discs you could print on, and they turned out really good. And I would shoot the wedding and be there for the day and record all the stuff beforehand and throughout the day. And then I would actually then take that back and edit it and cut it and then author it onto a DVD or Blu-ray, and then produce it into these discs. And I would deliver on DVDs and Blu-rays and all that fun stuff. But when I first started, I was doing VHS and then slowly moving into DVDs. And then at some point, I was getting burned out on it. And Rhonda and I, my wife and I, we were doing, I think at our busiest year for just the two of us, we were doing like 30 some. I think we did 36 weddings in 1 year, and that was not being full-time. That's part-time work, but it was a full-time job while we were still doing our full regular jobs, and then, having a life. It was crazy. In fact, at one point, before my wife started helping me edit a little bit, she thought I was hanging out in the back office playing video games when I was editing weddings. So once she learned how to do it, she was like, "This is a lot of work. Now I realize why you were back here all the time." So it was kind of fun. But anyhow, once I moved on to that, I at some point it was taking me way too much time to complete customers' projects. I was getting a little bit distracted, and I had a lot on my plate from I was doing my regular job that I work at Mosier, actually Mosier Medical, and I still working there today, and I love working for Mosier Medical and the team there. They are awesome, and it's a great company to work for, and I'm so happy to have that opportunity to be there and offer my services to them too. So but at the time I was working for Mosier Medical, I was trying to do all these wedding videos, and then on top of that, I was Also getting into the I was getting into my youth ministry at my church and serving there. And so once you have so many plates spinning, something's got to give. And then just to have a social life, just to have just a life in general. I was kind of getting to the point where I was burning out, and it was really tough. So when my clients were waiting 4 to 6 months to get their projects, I knew that there was a problem. And so I kind of just phased out that business. And now I still shoot weddings today. I still work with Jared from P47 Productions, and they provide excellent services. And I do a lot of documentary weddings for them. And then every now and then I'll do a wedding for Just Perfect Video, Will Brockway. And so I still am doing video services. And I must say that if you're starting a YouTube channel or you're getting in YouTube and you have no clue about video or camera mechanics or shot composition or anything like that, it wouldn't be a bad idea to find a video production company or an event videographer or even a photographer that does some type of video services and see if you can intern or train with them. Go on shoots and learn the ropes. You might have to do that a couple of times to, as an intern, like not really getting paid, just learning the ropes and being with them. Just because you're doing an event at like a wedding or something, don't go off partying though. You want to be serious and show that you're committed to learning the task. And it can be a great side gig that could help fund your YouTube channel. So that's just kind of like a little bonus tip that I didn't even have in here, but it is a great way to even support your YouTube channel. If you want to get started in YouTube and you need some cash for maybe buying a camera or a computer, or you need to, maybe you want to start a new business and have YouTube as well as a part of that, starting a, getting under an internship with an event videographer or some type of local video production company that knows this and can teach this stuff. It makes it's a world of difference when you can get your hands on the product, when you can get when you actually get your hands on the camera and see how, when you adjust the contrast, what it makes the image look like, what looks like a good quality image versus a crappy image from like a real crappy webcam or an overexposed image. So you can get a lot of techniques and tips from working with a professional in that arena that could greatly help you further on down the road. Now, you can also get a lot of that information from YouTube and Googling and finding out the info. There's tons of information out there. And in fact, when you're starting your channel, this is, after I did my, sorry, I'm getting a little lost, but I got my vision for Fathers for All. I wanted to start this channel, and I did a couple of just random videos that you can see on here. But at some point I went in and got involved with the course, Grow with Video with Sean Cannell. And so and that taught me a ton of information about YouTube in general. And I then just picked up his book, and I'm in the process of getting around to that. I'm reading another book right now, Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. And that's a tremendous book too, and that's going to lead into the 5 tips and stuff. So there's plenty of resources out there, and it can be a little overwhelming when you're getting started. So yeah, it can be a little overwhelming. So let's jump into, let's jump into some of these 5 tips for new YouTubers. I'm not going to make this too long today. I've had enough problems trying to get this stream going, and it took me forever to get it started. So if you're just starting your YouTube channel out and you want to do YouTube for whatever reason, I would say your first reason is to discover your why. This is pretty important when you are getting started. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? Do you want to promote your existing business? Do you want to, is there something that you're very good at that you want to share? Is there something in your heart that's just saying, man, I got to get this out there? For me, my why, I have a couple of reasons, but my why was to start to build an online community and build a channel that really ministers and reaches out to the fatherless, and also puts an arm around that another father and says, "Hey, let's come along for this journey." Um, I'm not I'm not the most skilled guy in the world. I don't, and maybe I'm selling myself short, but uh, there is there's all kinds of different fathers that are skilled in many different ways, and I've also noticed that there's a lot of children, young adults that don't have any father figures at all, and the statistics for those who just don't have any father figures in their lives are kind of troubling. And there's something to be said about having a dad involved in your life. And even if that father isn't a biological father, if it's not maybe it's just a mentor or someone that came along that just became a dad to you. There's something to be said about that, and it makes a world of difference if you have that mentor, that person in your life. So, uh, in the end, it comes down to discovering your why. Why do you want to do this channel? And so, I have a goal and a passion to reach out to the fatherless, but also help those who might be a little bit further behind me and down the road in this terms of how they're fathering and stuff. So, but there's other reasons too. I have a kind of that's an external reason for this channel, but then I also have an internal reason and for myself, and that's to build a business that is uh, helping others, helping those who are less fortunate, or helping those that don't have these skills to get things going, and teaching them kind of how to find themselves, and then also kind of leading them down that road towards freedom. And freedom means a lot of different things. There's a lot of different uh, there's freedom in your spirit, in your spirituality, in your identity, but there's also financial freedom and freedom in your relationships. So there's a lot of different meanings for freedom and what it means. So freedom is kind of like a theme in this channel, because I want to teach people how to be free, whether it's in their relationship with others, whether it's in their relationship spiritually with God, um, or if it's financial freedom. That's something that I've kind of struggled with over the years, wrestling with debt. And I've always been, uh, a hard worker, and always tried to do my best to bring value to to Mosier Medical, the company that I work for. And then when I also work at weddings, I'm always willing to go a little bit extra to make sure I capture the event. I did a wedding just earlier this month, and the whole event was winding down. I had shot just about everything I could get, and in fact, this will probably be a topic, maybe even for a whole another channel, of my experiences about wedding videography. But this DJ didn't really have an itinerary or a plan. He was ill-equipped and kind of a younger guy. And so and there was no father-daughter dance scheduled. There was no mother-son dance. There was none of these formalities scheduled for the reception. And I think it was kind of by design, but in the end, I would manage to, in my mind, I had this little checklist of all the different things that I needed to get for a bride. And at the reception, I want to get, coming down the aisle, toast, all the formalities, and then of all those formalities is when they are dancing with, son and mother and daughter and father, got to get those dances. Well, they didn't have any of those, and so I'm packing up. I'm getting ready to leave. And I've spoken with the bride and groom. They said, yeah, you got everything. You're clear to go. Go on out, head out. And this, I'm literally packed up. I'm getting ready to stand up and walk out. I've got my camera in the bag, and I look up, and the bride had just walked away from the DJ table, and she is going to the dance floor, and there's her dad out there on the dance floor. So what do? You pack up and walk out? I, I don't know about for you, but for me, I could not do that. It just could not happen. So I unpacked the camera, and I was going to shoot it without the light. Now I had to get the light out, and I shot that scene of her and her dad dancing. For all I know, that may be one of her most precious moments that she will cherish down the road. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, I captured it, and it's now on her wedding video and available for her to review years from now, and that's important. I could have left. I could have bugged out, but for some reason I couldn't. And I guess maybe I'm rabbit trailing here a little bit, but you need to discover your why. Why are you doing this? Or why are you willing? Are you willing to put in the extra work? Is your why going to drive you through the hard times? Today, I didn't feel like doing this live stream. I didn't feel like producing a video. I've been going through a phase of like trying to develop content and get a schedule, but I'm also being distracted because I'm trying to do other things like affiliate marketing and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was really tough to come up and do this today, but it's Thursday. It's the end of the month. I've always been live streaming on the last Thursday of the month, so I'm going to stay consistent with that, and I'm going to consistently push out videos throughout the week. And my goal is to get 52 quality videos this year for Fathers for All, and I am not going to let that fall short. I'm hoping that I can build a community, that we can collaborate together, and yeah, I can be a little forward when it comes to my faith, but that's kind of part of the theme of this channel. We're talking about issues of faith, freedom, and fatherhood. So let's go back to the slide. So the next tip is boom, to set some achievable goals. When you're just starting out your channel, you don't want to, and I was doing this earlier on, I was just kind of randomly posting videos with no like end game in mind. So this year for 2019, in 2018, I was kind of developing a plan for this channel, what it would look like, why I'm doing this channel, and then who my target audience is, all these things that I've picked up through Grow with Video. If you watch anything from Sean Cannell and Think Media, he covers all these things of being deliberate and all that. So I decided I was going to do 52 videos for 2019, and I felt that that was a stretch, but I also felt that I could do it. That's just one video a week, and if I really amp up and get some work, really start hustling, I could do maybe more than one video a week. But they have to be, there's a qualifier in there, that's quality. Quality videos. I don't want to just post up webcam footage and or just start recording with my phone. That might be all you have, and that might be all you can do, which is okay. You got to start with where you're at, or as someone said, prosper where you're planted. If that's all you can do, then just do that. But you can still do it with intentionality. You can still do it with some planning before you hit record. You can still do it with a little bit of editing, a little bit of work into it. So, anyhow, number 3, after you set some achievable goals. By the way, with this number 2, it can be a stretch to do a video a week. So I'm learning about batching. I'm learning about producing content on a regular basis. So while you don't want to make your goals too easy, because then you won't. You're like, well, I'm at that already. For me, I'm shooting for the entire year, 52 videos for the entire year, and that's one video a week, and I'm not being as consistent as I want. But the thing about this goal is it's stretching me and it's drawing me further along. And the benefit of having a small channel, or the benefit of having being a small YouTube channel, is that you can make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, your first, as Sean says, your first videos are usually the worst. So get them over with. Uh, Number 3 is have a mentor to follow, and this is kind of what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of these guys on YouTube on how they do their videos, and I can really understand a little bit about I can kind of go to their videos and find out how they're doing certain things. Like, how do you do thumbnails? How does he do this? How do you do live stream? I gotta do another tutorial on this Streamlabs OBS, because while I'm getting some of it, there's other stuff that you know, tonight I wanted to start my live stream at 9:30, and I was 15 minutes late. Anybody that was going to watch didn't watch it on the live stream. I only have 27 subscribers right now. I would love to get to 30 subscribers before the end of April, but that means I'm going to have to deliver on consistent content. So have a mentor to follow. In this section, I'm following Sean. I have training from him. And I must thank my sister and my aunts. I expressed to them my vision for YouTube and doing this channel, and how I need to really just get on it, and how I was gonna buy his Grow with Video course that he had as a Black Friday special training, and they decided to sponsor me, sponsor my training. So I owe it to them to not just go. I went through the training, but I'm going to go through it again, watch those videos again, and really ingest them and really know them, and then continue to produce quality videos. So I'm constantly watching, Sean Cannell, Think Media. I'm watching people like Dee and Nick Nemon. Their channel is amazing, and if you have questions about them, or you go to their channel and check them out, and they have like live streams on Saturdays for like 6 hours. They're like juggernauts, and they just tear it up. And the wealth of information that they're giving out is just invaluable. So find a mentor and follow them, whether it's on YouTube or someone personally together. It's great to connect and really focus in on doing their thing, on having someone guide you along in the process, and someone to encourage you, because it gets discouraging really easy. I was about ready to throw in the towel on this stream, and then somehow I clicked the right button. Number 4 is focus. There's this a 2-part setup here. Focus. Oh, this is a tough one. Focus your time and your niche. first of all, if you're doing something for YouTube, you got to shut off all your distractions. You got to turn off all your alerts. You got to shut out your browsers. You got to really focus your time and work on exactly what you want to work on and intend to work on. Use something like Google Calendar or you just your calendar on your phone, whatever. Schedule out your times, and and then when those times are scheduled, try to stick to them as best as possible to get your project done or get your task done. And then focus your niche. I always heard it growing up as niche, but I hear a lot of people on YouTube call it niche. So I guess maybe it depends on what part of the country you're in or what your upbringing was, but focus down on that. Don't take a shotgun approach and um, try to cater to everybody because you'll cater to no one. And this is something I'm trying to learn with my channel. I feel I have a niche audience, but it it's a very broad one. So I know my growth in this is going to be slow, and that's going to be a challenge because I'm kind of getting antsy. I'm getting impatient, and I'm only 3 months in on my 2019 goal, and I'm itching. I have a vision for what I see my channel becoming down the road. I have a vision for what we do, for the things, the segments and features that are on the channel. But right now, I'm a solo YouTuber, and I am, learning that process and really just actually finding my voice. And as you've seen, if you've been watching any of the videos, you've seen changes in the background, changes in how things are going because I'm trying new things and I'm growing. So you just got to stick with it and keep working at it, but focus in on your audience. There's a lot of videos regarding this, and even with affiliate marketing or anything else that you're doing on YouTube or online, you have to focus in on who you are going to cater to. If you're going to do a very broad approach and try to be just a personality, that you can do that, but it's just going to take a long time. And you just know that going in at the beginning. And so number 5 is start. This is the most important part, and this is can be the toughest part. I just read a video, or I went through the audiobook from by John Acuff. It's Start, Punch Fear in the Face, Do Work That Matters. And this video or this audiobook, this book that he wrote is just awesome. It's a way to start, and it's kind of like a guide to doing whatever your dream is, and one of the things that he said is, something is better than nothing. Some is better than none. And so when you're just starting off, your videos, the quality of your work, it might be crap. You might you might feel embarrassed. You might feel like what you're doing is a waste of time. There's times when I do that. There's times when I'm actually sitting at the computer trying to I like to script out my videos because it gives me a clarity of thought. And until I start getting better on camera, I'm scripting out my videos right now so that I don't rehash the information that I am going to, I'm trying to give out there. So when I'm sitting down at the scripting stage and I'm writing out what I want to say, that can be kind of the most difficult part because it's almost like a writing process, and there's a lot of discouragement that comes into my mind sometimes of why are you doing this? This is a waste of time. You're not going to touch anybody's life. What the heck? So there's times where I want to give up then before I even get in front of the camera and press record. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, do something. If you feel if you're passionate about YouTube and you want to get going, Start doing something. Write down a plan. Get down your why. Set some goals. Maybe follow someone online that is encouraging and is leading you along. And every time you watch them, you're like, oh man, I love their videos and I want to do videos just like them, or I want to do something similar to what they're doing, but just in my niche or just do it with my skill. Um, Follow that and just go with it. Set aside your calendar, block it out, and then go for it and start. Your first videos are going to be your worst, but that's okay. I found that for me also, it doing a YouTube channel is almost like public speaking in a way. There was a time where I went up and I was asked the first time to speak in front of a bunch of youth. It was on a hot summer day. Everybody had just been swimming and playing all day, and they were just exhausted. And I was so nervous. Was ill prepared, um, and so I I was just so nervous, and it was the worst. Now I've gotten better over the years as I've spoken to youth and as I've spoken to adults at our church, and there might be a little bit of a nervousness right before I start, but once I get going, those nerves settle down. And that's the same thing with a YouTube channel and actually going live like this. You might be nervous at the beginning, but if you just get going and you just start, it's going to be awesome. Um, and I'm going to do probably maybe a video, another live stream or another video just on affordable tech when you're just starting, because that's a whole nother video in and of itself. And you could, but there's a lot of stuff out there that you can get that's really affordable, so you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can get going with you could do something like this this is on a Logitech webcam, and my computer webcam that came with this laptop is just horrible. Um, and this lighting scheme, that purple in the background, I bought that a light that's designed for helping plants to grow. Before, I had production lights that I had bought when I was doing wedding video, and I would do a live stream that would look like this. And I'd blast the room out with a ton of light. And I watched Brian G. Johnson, and I watched his videos, and I watched Dee and Nick Nemon, and I've seen how they do their videos where they change the lighting and they actually set up a background. I still got to work on that a little bit, but instead of blasting my room with light, I got a couple of just a little desk lamps that have these little, adjustable lamps on them. I can position the light a little bit better, throw a little LED light bar that you can buy from Five Below if you wanted, leave that in the background, and then turn out the lights in the room. And you're instantly improving the quality of your environment, and you are the focus subject. So there's another little tip there. So I think I've rambled on long enough for this web stream, well, this live stream. I hope you guys found some value in this. There's a bunch of other slides I threw in, but we're just going to wrap it up today. And I really appreciate you guys being here. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed, and give me a comment. What's some of the things that you're dealing with in starting your YouTube channel, or what are the things that you think that I can improve upon? I would love to hear that and dialogue with you in the comments below. I'm actively checking with it. I'm also active on Twitter at Notac, Notac is my handle there. And of course, I have a Facebook page at Fathers for All, but I'm really focusing on just doing YouTube videos, and we're gonna continue to keep out new videos. For the next couple of topics, we're gonna be talking about freedom series, and we've kind of gone through goal setting. I went through a little bit of identity, and there's so many other. Those are very saturated topics, and there's a lot of different people doing videos on those. So the upcoming videos we're going to be doing are about freedom, and eventually we'll be looking into financial freedom, um, and obviously we're talking things about fatherhood and dad stuff as well coming up as well. So that's about it for today. I really thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. And until then, may you find your peace and your identity in the Father for all. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.